Hello friends, you are on the channel Quotes of Great Men. Enjoy watching. The genius must have his freedom and his independence. A rational man knows or makes it a point to discover the source of his emotions, the basic premises from which they come. Degrees do not matter. One does not bargain about inches of evil. The view that man was ever to be drawn by some vision of the unattainable shining ahead, doomed ever to aspire, but not to achieve, my life and my values could not bring me to that. That which you call your soul or spirit is your consciousness, and that which you call free will is your mind's freedom to think or not, the only will you have, your only freedom, the choice that controls all the choices you make and determines your life and your character. That which exists possesses identity. He could keep it out of existence by refusing to identify it. Whatever their future, at the dawn of their lives, men seek a noble vision of man's nature and of life's potential. A quest for self-respect is proof of its lack. One must never allow oneself to acquire an exaggerated sense of one's own importance. There's no necessity to burden oneself with absolutes. Why no? I'm too conceited. If you want to call it that. I don't make comparisons. I never think of myself in relation to anyone else. I just refuse to measure myself as part of anything. I'm an utter egotist. Money is so noble a medium that it does not compete with guns, and it does not make terms with brutality. It will not permit a country to survive as half property, half loot. A moment or an eternity, did it matter? Life, undefeated, existed and could exist. Today we have discovered the word that could not be said. Do not set out to write with your eyes on the box office. It can't be done. I do not think that tragedies are natural fate, and I do not live in chronic dread of disaster. It is no happiness, but suffering that I consider unnatural. It is not success, but calamity that I regard as the abnormal exception in human life. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of production and trade. One can't love man without hating most of the creatures who pretend to bear his name. What I am fighting is the idea that charity is a moral duty and a primary virtue. Pleasure is not, but virtue's gayer name I wrong her still. I read her worth too low, virtue the root, and pleasure is the flower. There is no transgression blacker than to do or think alone. My morality, the morality of reason, is contained in a single axiom: existence exists, and in a single choice, to live. Don't bother to examine a folly, ask yourself only what it accomplishes. But their eyes were as cold blue glass buttons. There is fear hanging in the air of the sleeping halls. and the air of the streets. Fear walks through the city, fear without name, without shape. All men feel it and none dare speak. We'll meet again. We'll meet when years have passed, and years make such a difference, don't they? They talked about nothing in particular, sentences that had meaning only in the sound of the voices, in warm gaiety, in the ease of complete relaxation. She's a writer. The kind of writer who wouldn't be published outside. She believes that when one deals with words, one deals with the mind. It's such a waste to be subtle and vicious with people who don't even know that you're being subtle and vicious. That time and those people are upon you. Someday, the world will discover that, without thought, there can be no love. Those who say theory and practice are two unrelated realms are fools in one and scoundrels in the other. In waiting, for what? My kind of people. What kind is that? I can tell my kind of people by their faces, by something in their faces. Patience is always rewarded and romance is always round the corner. It's so graceless, being a martyr. It's honoring your adversaries too much. A whim is a desire experienced by a person who does not know and does not care to discover its cause. It is one's own personal, selfish happiness that one seeks, earns, and derives from love. If you tell an amateur that his story is not good, he always declares indignantly, "Oh, but it really happened just like this." The writer who doesn't understand that this is beside the point is not a writer at all. You will follow me, if we are what we are, you and I, if we live, if the world exists, if you know the meaning of this moment and can't let it slip by, as others let it slip, into the senselessness of the unwilled and unreached. Capitalism is our only moral system. All other systems take advantage of man's rights and liberties. An artist recreates those aspects of reality which represent his fundamental view of man's nature. A man who repeatedly licks his vagina is considered more hungry and aroused for sex according to other men. Thanks for watching. Check out these educational videos too.